Hello everyone. So this time round we thought we'd do something a little bit different. So you've probably seen us do lots of sports cards and other themed cards as well. History, Marvel.
With different levels of success.
Yeah, very varying levels of success. But we thought we'd do a bit of a vlog, a bit of a behind the scenes background story, just so that we could...
A bit about the journey.
Yeah, introduce ourselves a bit better of who we are, and, you know, that might make you hate us or it might make you like us a little bit more. Either way, we thought we'd give this, and we're going to give away... We're going to give some of the information about how we do things. So I've got a bit of a topic list here, so forgive me whilst I just read it out.
And we're going to cover off sort of how we started.
Well, let me go through the topic list. So who we are, where it all started, why we do it, product sourcing, video ideas and videos, how we come up with them, any lessons we've learned during this journey so far, our goals and what we'd like to achieve in the future, who our favourite YouTubers are or sellers are that we buy or follow or watch and get inspiration from. Sports knowledge, which if you've watched any of the videos, you know it's 99% one person and 1% the other. Going to talk a little bit about the card gals who were with us at the beginning of the journey and what they're up to and a little bit about them. Card Bros on tour, plans for the future of where we are.
Don't want to give away everything on this first video, though.
No, it's not all going in this first video.
Oh, okay.
These are just the topics that are coming up in future vlogs. Monetization, how we did our YouTube monetization and how we achieved it, because I know that's quite a lot of people search it on YouTube to try and understand how you get there and how you achieve it.
Want to do some Q&A sessions as well.
Q&A sessions.
So as of now, start putting questions in the comments that we can start building in around a Q&A session at some point.
We're going to talk about our setup here. So cameras, software, what we edit on, any equipment we use like the Stream Deck and things like that. How we came up with our name and our design. We will give some of the information on money and costs and what we spend on some things.
I don't know if I want to know that.
That might scare people off from trying to do this.
I was going to say, it would scare me off.
Hey, it's about that, how we plan, how we'd like to grow our subs and membership side of it, and just lots of different things about the different things that we enjoy opening, the cards and the products and
the fun stuff. The fun stuff.
So we thought this is our first vlog, and with this being our first vlog, we're going to talk about a little bit about who we are. And then we're going to go into a bit about where it all started for us last year. And we'll talk about how we sort of stumbled into this and then quickly fell in love with it. So who we are is a couple brothers from southeast of England, right down. We're closer to France than we are to London, and probably get there quicker as well.
I don't know. It's debatable. We're pretty close. Yeah, we're right down on the south coast in Kent.
Yeah, we started off with recording in James's dining room, and I don't think that video ever made it onto YouTube.
No, that was literally Chloe. Chloe, who is one of the card gals, who's Matt's daughter. I think stood behind us holding a GoPro that kept overheating after like 5 minutes.
First bit of kit we bought.
And that was opening a box of Lorcana from memory.
Yeah, because we were waiting on some of our first orders of Topps Chrome.
But the original start point, I think, was me, wasn't it? I think
Yeah, you're a degenerate.
I like a gamble. I like a gamble. And this was like I suppose it is a form of gambling, isn't it? When you buy the boxes and things like that.
It is 100% collectibles.
Oh yeah. But when you're buying the raw product, there's an element of risk. You're not guaranteed to, as you guys know, anyone that's watched our videos, sometimes you will hit massive cards and sometimes you'll hit nothing.
Yep.
But the first stumbling into this was actually July 24, so less than 12 months ago still.
Yeah.
When we were actually out on holiday in Florida. And I think it was just one evening, and I think we'd all decided to turn in for the night, and I was just looking around on YouTube, I think, and something flashed up about, some video about Whatnot and card collecting in general. And I thought, what's this then?
Yeah, I've never heard of it before that.
No, I've never heard of Whatnot, but obviously we'd heard of the concept of baseball cards. That's kind of in the UK what most people know. When we say, oh, we do sports cards and trading cards, people are like, what do you mean? And we say, well, baseball cards. People kind of understand that in the UK. And yeah, I watched a few videos and thought, oh, this Whatnot thing looks like fun. So I installed it one night and I went on Whatnot and signed up. And I think, bearing in mind, I think this was probably around 11 p.m. Florida time. So UK time would have been about 4 a.m.
Yeah.
There wasn't many people streaming. The one that sort of stuck out and the one that kind of was the first person I think I bought into a stream was Sully's.
Yeah.
Who anyone that goes on Whatnot will know Sully's. He's one of the biggest breakers on there.
If not, he's probably the biggest in the
UK. Probably. But yeah, so shout out to Sully's if he ever gets around to watching this, because he was kind of our introduction to the world of sports cards and football cards. And I think at that time, I think it was that year's EPL Prism. So 23-24 Prism, I think, was the newest release or one of them. Yeah. And I think I was just buying into some breaks in that. And I thought, oh, this is fun. Like the whole concept of you can get cards of your favourite players with autographs on them. That's crazy. And being someone over the years when I was younger, I used to buy things like we both did, like autographed movie posters.
Yeah, big on movie memorabilia.
I've got posters signed by my favourite bands. I've got lots of football shirts signed by ex-Liverpool players. I'm a big Liverpool fan. So the idea of buying something in card form signed by a Liverpool player was brilliant.
Yeah.
So I think a couple of days after that, we realised that actually sports cards is such a big thing in the States that you can go into Walmart or Target.
But ultimately, it came down to every night James being sat out by the pool for about 4 hours buying into breaks.
Wasn't that much.
It was quite a lot.
Wasn't 4 hours, and it wasn't every break. I was only buying into the odd one here.
Oh, only in Sully's.
But yeah, so that's kind of where it started for us. That was kind of our introduction. And then, like I say, beyond that, we kind of, during that trip, then both, you were a bit slower to come on board from memory. I think I went out and we went to Walmart or Target.
You were hunting sports cards.
And yeah, I was like, oh, I wonder where the sports cards will be. And I bought up boxes of baseball cards.
All retail.
Yeah, so all retail products. So no guaranteed hits.
Blasters or megas.
Didn't know the difference between blasters and hobby boxes and mega boxes or anything like that at the time. Didn't know much and still don't know much about baseball. But I remember the one card in one of the boxes I opened was a rookie Jason Dominguez. Who plays for the Yankees. And it was numbered to 25. And I remember thinking,
that's a nice card.
That's a nice card. And I looked it up on the internet, and I think at the time, I think the prices aren't as strong now, but I think at the time the prices were a couple of $100, and I was thinking, I got that out of a box that I paid $30-40 for. This is brilliant.
That's how they lure you in, you see. That's how they get
and then I remember you going out and you watch NFL, don't you? But bizarrely, you seem to know nothing about NFL.
Yeah, I only really know the Bucks. I love watching it.
I know you went out and bought some NFL boxes. And whatever boxes you were buying did have guaranteed hits, and I remember being really jealous because
it was contenders.
Yeah, I remember you getting ones, and I was like, "Well, what's that? You've got a piece of cloth on it," and that was like just mind blowing.
Yeah.
So that was kind of our first foray, and then I remember getting back from that holiday, and literally the postman had dropped about 70 parcels off while we were away.
Yeah, James had bought into a few, and then I ended up sitting out by the pool with him late at night, and I'd be like, "Oh, look, Portugal! You get a Portugal spot for like £7. Okay, I'll have that."
No, all of my memory is slightly different because I remember you buying into breaks and somehow always getting Sheffield United. Literally every time you did it, to a point where it was like, "Oh, I'm not doing this anymore," because every time I do it, I just get Sheffield United or Luton.
And then it was a case of trying to bid for specific teams.
Yeah, and then we moved on to the pick your team or pick your spot type breaks.
We've always been, we were brought up, we were lucky enough as kids to, our summer holiday, our family holiday each year was to go to Florida. So and I've continued that with my family, and James has continued that as well. And then later on, last few years, we've been jumping out there together, either going to Vegas or going to Florida. And we love America, and we are jealous of how easy it is for you guys to get sports cards over here. It is painful.
It's getting better.
I think it's going to get better now.
It is getting better
in London.
I think there are now, for us personally, we've got a very good Pokemon and TCG store.
Yeah.
Very close. And we've got 2 reasonably sized sports card sellers within about an hour and a half's drive, and the Fanatic store.
Only one within an hour and a half drive.
Well, no, there's a couple. There's one in Medway, isn't there, I think, now?
Oh, yeah, but that's mainly Pokemon.
So there's a couple reasonably close. So it is starting to get a bit more of a foothold. I think the more the hobby grows across Europe as a whole, and to be fair to Topps, we moan about Topps a lot, and I still
give me any good boxes.
I still think the way that they release their products, there seems to be no real lead in. It's like, oh, by the way, this is out tomorrow, and you've got to drop whatever you're doing and be online at exactly 5 o'clock, and you still won't get anything in pre-order because the website will crash. But that aside, I think Topps are making definite efforts to grow the hobby, not just in the UK, I think across Europe as a whole.
And I have started to notice now. There's no offense to Match Tax or what are the other ones? The Panini Adrenaline. They're the entry level. Not really our cup of tea of what we like to open or chase. I know they're massive with the kids, which is brilliant. And I'm starting to see a lot more of them going to supermarkets where you can pick up tins, packs, and little things. So hopefully that links on to maybe getting some.
Well, they're just the kind of the newer version of when we were kids and you'd buy packs of stickers.
Yeah,
it's kind of the same thing, isn't it? Instead of having a sticker album now, you have a binder that you put all your
to be
cards
fair,
in.
Getting hold of Panini stuff's even harder than getting hold of Top stuff.
Yeah, and again for what was originally a European country.
Yeah, country.
A European company, but yeah, we go on the Panini Europe website.
There's nothing,
and it's literally horrible. It's just Adrenaline.
Yeah.
Or
Score. You can sometimes get Score.
Yeah, but it's like the worst product they make.
Yeah.
And it's all retail, and literally it's like they have an American boxes section. You go on there's like 3 things, and they'll literally all be Score or Contenders, and it's almost like, is it just the stock that Target or Walmart didn't want, and they stick it on their website? Whereas you go Panini USA website,
we're getting a little bit off topic here because we're still on where we first started. So going back to that a little bit, we'll talk. When we came back from America after that first trip, we sort of had a chat and we were like, oh, we could do whatnot. We could sell some bits on that, and that was the first thought that we had. Yeah. It wasn't anything to do with YouTube. We started off by thinking, we could buy some stuff and go on whatnot and break and sell, and then we realised how hard it was to actually get product. So the breaking of it very quickly fell off. So we thought, okay, well, we'll have a go at recording something. We'll open something, we'll record it, and we'll put it on YouTube. So like we mentioned briefly at the minute, it was a box of Lorcana, which we managed to just grab.
Where did we get that from, though?
That might have been from
that was the shop in Herne Bay, wasn't it? Yeah, the sub centre.
Big shout out to the sub centre down in Herne Bay. A lot of TCG down there, and that's where we go to do our PSA submissions. But we got that, and we set up in the dining room. And you might on Instagram, you might still see some of our very early photos of where
on kitchen counters.
Yeah, we did get some of our first product in, and we managed to get some stuff. And those photos. It's everybody starts somewhere, and that's the thing to remember. It's never going to be perfect straight away, and we're still far from perfect. We're still very much learning.
We're still very young.
Yeah.
In the hobby, we've been doing
old bodily.
Yeah. Old and fat in body, but young in spirit.
But we set this thing up to record this Lorcana, and we thought, that'll do awesome. That'll be brilliant, and. We didn't have any microphones, like James mentioned. We had Chloe with the GoPro on this little hand.
Stood behind us,
trying to get sound. And literally every 10 minutes we'd get through a couple of packs and it'd overheat and shut down.
But this would have been probably August as well. So there was 3 of us crammed in a small room with the door shut so that the dog couldn't come in and start barking.
Yeah, James's dog makes a lot of noise.
And it was an experience.
So we quickly moved on from that, and I think that's a nice point to finish this vlog. And this will be part 1, number 1. And in vlog 2, we'll carry on from where we got to with the Lorcana, which nobody ever saw.
And before we do cut off, what I thought would be nice is to end each of these little videos with a what is your favourite ... So what we'll do is we'll do what is your favourite team, what is your favourite sport, what is your favourite product, what is the favourite card you've opened.
You're asking me?
Yeah, and then you ask me the same question.
Oh, okay.
So, and it will be on the spur of the moment because
go on then. What's the question?
You'll come up with a question for the next one. So my one will be what is your favourite card that you've pulled out of all of the boxes we've done?
It's easy, isn't it?
I think I probably know the answer.
It's still the only proper 1-on-1 that we've ever pulled.
Well, it is the only 1-on-1 we've pulled. I pulled a 1-on-1, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did pull a 1-on-1.
Unrecorded, but yeah. James did pull it out of a real pack.
Out of a blaster, no less.
Which we will talk about that in the future as well, because I'm hoping good karma comes back with what we did with that one. But yeah, my favourite card is by far that Ronaldinho 1-on-1 auto, because we were going through, we bought a load of boxes of Deco.
We liked Deco, didn't we? Yeah, we did like Deco.
I think this was in maybe the 3rd or 4th box that we'd opened of it. I can't remember. I think we ripped like 6 to 8 boxes of that stuff. And we don't expect 1-on-1s. The dream's always there, but realistically, when you start opening the packs, you sort of like, you're realistic and you're like, oh, just like a low numbered card. And I teased it down, and I think first of all we realised it was Ronaldinho, then we realised it was an auto, and then when it finally came off the top, we realised it was a 1-on-1. And
you squealed like a little girl.
Yeah.
And I think if you can find that clip, I think that's a nice place to tag on the end of the video.
Jaden Dans.
Oh, Ronaldinho.
Oh!
1-of-1!
I've done it! Look, Dad! I did it, Dad! And so it's not
boom shakalaka!
Oh my God!
I did it,
1-of-1 Ronaldinho. Yeah, this box is definitely not as good as box 1.
The thing I'm actually saying in the clip was throwback to one of my favourite streamers, which I saw someone else do.
I got one, Daddy. I did it, Daddy, which was Scotty from Fruity Slots on YouTube. Shout out the Fruity Slots.
One of the biggest, one of my favourite streamers who I watch who like to play slots. But yeah, saw him do it once, and it was the first thing came to my head when we.
I think I just went.
Started grabbing my arm for some strange reason. I was like this, and you're like, what the hell's going on? But yeah, so I'll see if I can somehow trim that in.
Yeah, you must have that clip.
I've probably got it saved somewhere, but depends on how many clips and images I try and throw in this to how long it takes to actually get these produced and out. But yeah, that's going to be the end of this vlog.
You're not going to ask me the same question, then.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I forgot.
Just the assumption is I've just pulled shit.
It's pretty close. Okay, so what's your favourite one?
Mine is also from Deco. I had a bit more time to think about it while you were giving your really long answer. And mine is probably, my favourite one I've personally pulled is the Iniesta Yamal dual auto to 10. With a Luis Suarez.
Is this a special one? You got. Is that numbered?
Oh my God!
Is that Yamal?
6 of 10.
Iniesta.
Yamal and Iniesta.
Yes. Dual auto. God, Iniesta's got a nice. Let me sleeve it.
No, I'm going to mag it. We still have both of those cards. They're on our eBay store. Hint, hint. But yeah, that's probably my favourite card I've pulled that I can think of off the top of my head.
I think also take the Ronaldinho down. We're going to keep that one. That's going to be our first ever 1-on-1 card, so we're just going to keep it. No, that's good. That's a cool card. I thought you might have gone for the Marvel auto that we were hunting in the first round of Marvel Chrome, because that was a big chase.
I didn't open that though.
No, I did, but good point.
Yeah, I only get those were the days when you didn't let me open anything other than blooming.
And we might have to go back.
What
to
was that tops thing? That really cheap tops thing from Amazon.
The England.
Yeah, where you get one numbered card and then 50 of the same cards in every single box.
The complaints still keep coming in about you opening stuff, so we might have to revert back to that. And that question goes out to anybody who watches this as well. We'd love to know what you've put, what your best card you've pulled.
Put in the comments. Put in the comments, guys.
Let us know, and we do maybe once we've got a few of these vlogs out, and if they've gained some momentum and interest, then we'll do some live vlogs where we'll do live Q&As.
Or we'll try and do something live from some card shows or something as well.
Yeah, and little sneak peek here. We are looking at potentially doing our first show.
Yeah.
We're looking at the Kent show in.
Well, we haven't really sorted anything out yet, but we'll let people know.
But yeah, hope you enjoyed that.
Yeah, and keep your eyes peeled for part 2.
Part 2, yeah, we'll put it on Insta first, and then we'll drop it on Instagram. Same thing. Drop it on Insta, and then we'll drop it on YouTube.
And put it on Instagram.
And again, we love Instagram.
Take care, guys.
Cheers, guys. Bye.